Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Sinta Aryani. I am a lecturer at IEJ 3L2 Enterprise Design and Analysis course at Industrial Engineering Program, Telkom University. Let's talk about payback period. Payback period. What is payback period? The payback method is the amount of time required for the firm to recover its initial investment in a project, as calculated from cash inflows. The length of the maximum acceptable payback period is determined by the management. If the payback period is less than maximum acceptable payback period, then accept the project. If the payback period is greater than the maximum acceptable payback period, then reject the project. Okay, right now we're gonna have a payback period case. And here we have Bennett Company. It's a medium-sized metal fabricator that is currently contemplating two projects. Project A requires an initial investment of $42,000 and Project B an initial investment of $45,000. The relevant operating cash flow for the two projects are represented in the right side here. So there is a Project A with initial investment of $42,000 and Project B with the initial investment of $45,000. And the operating cash inflow for each project is as follows. Year 1, Project A has $14,000 and Project B has $28,000. In year 2, Project A has $14,000 and Project B has $12,000. In year 3, operating cash flow for Project A is $14,000 and for Project B is $10,000. In year 4, Project A has $14,000 in operating cash flow and Project B has $10,000. And in the year 5, Project A has operating cash inflow $14,000 and Project B has $10,000. Then how we calculate the payback period for each project? If we take a look at here, let me get my pen here. If we take a look at here in Project A, yeah, and we see the cash inflow for Project A here, this is, we call it an annuity cash flow, because the streams of the cash flow from 1 year, from year 1, year 2, and so on until year 5 are the same. They are even 14,000. Okay, so this is what we call the annuity cash flow. For the annuity cash flow, it is very easy to calculate the payback period. We can just divide this initial investment by the amount of annuity cash inflow itself. Okay, so in this case, we can divide 42,000, yeah, divided by 14,000. So we can have 3. So the payback period for Project A is 3 years. Very easy, right? Now we move to Project B. If we take a look, the cash inflow for the Project B is not even. It's not an annuity cash flow. This is a mixed stream, because in 1 year and another year, there are different cash inflows, right? You can see here, 28,000, 12,000, 10,000. So it's different from 1 year to another year. So we cannot use the one that we already used in the Project A. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna add up all the cash inflow that generated by Project A, Project B, I mean, from the first year, and then the next year, and then the next year, and so on. Okay, so for the first one, we have to take this number, 28,000. And then we compare it with the initial investment, which is 45,000. It's still less than 45,000. In year 1, Project B only can recover 28,000 for the whole $45,000. Okay, and then if you move to the year second or the year two, then we can just add up 28,000 and $12,000. So we can have here 40,000, right? Yes, we have 40,000 here. So for the second year, Project B only can recover 40,000 over $45,000 initial investment that they have. Okay, so this money is not, this cash inflow is not enough yet. So we have to move to the next year, which is the third year. In the third year, Project B can generate $10,000. So we can add up $10,000 to the 40,000 here. So what is the amount altogether is 50,000. But if you compare to the initial investment that Project B has, this is way too much. Yeah. So we have, this is already cover all the investment even more. So we have to calculate actually how many more, how much more the cash inflow can recover all the initial investment. From here, we only need to have $5,000, right, to recover the $45,000, the initial investment. Okay, so from here we can calculate, or we can have a conclusion that the Project B has 2 years and payback period plus 5,000 divided by 10,000, or this is equal to 2.5 years. So Project B has 2.5 years recovery plan. Now, which one do you think that management gonna choose? Will the management choose the Project A, or will the management choose the Project B? Yes, the answer is the management probably will choose the Project B, because the Project B has shorter payback, shorter recovery time to their initial investment. Okay. All right. In this slide, you can see step by step how to solve or how to use the payback period to solve the problem of the Bennett company. Okay. You can just take a look deeper here, and this is gonna help you to understand what I already explained it before. Okay. Okay, right now we're talking about the pros and cons about payback period. The payback period is widely used by large firms to evaluate small projects, but by small firms to evaluate most projects. Its popularity results from its computational simplicity and intuitive appeal. Okay. And then by measuring how quickly the firm recovered its initial investment, the payback period also gives implicit consideration to the timing of cash flow, and therefore to the time value of money. The third pros of payback period is because it can be viewed as a measure of risk exposure. Many firms use the payback period as decision criterion or as a supplement to other decision techniques. Now talk about the cons of the payback period. The major weakness of payback period is that the appropriate payback period is merely a subjectively determined number. It cannot be specified in light of the wealth maximization goal because it is not based on discounting cash flow to determine whether they add to the firm's value. The second weakness is that this approach fails to take fully into account the time factor in value of money. And the third weakness of payback is its failure to recognize cash flow that occur after the payback period. Limits on payback analysis. While easy to compute and easy to understand, the payback period simplicity brings with it some drawbacks. Whether the weakness of payback period methods of evaluating capital projects, the simplicity of the methods does allow it to be used in conjunction with others, more sophisticated measures. Now, in your view, if the payback period method is used in conjunction with NPV method, should it be used before or after the NPV evaluation? I should hear the right answer from you. Okay? Thank you and see you in my next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.